Hi, I'm Sally Goodson and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for subscribing and watching this video about my book, Upstream Dream, about my experiences as a female engineer in the early 80s, developing and building offshore platforms. So, if you've been watching the other videos, where we are in the book is at the final chapter. So at the last video, if you recall, I was just burnout. I was yelled at offshore in a small room by a tool, what they call a tool pusher, which is the man in charge that worked for me. And I anyway got upset and just shut down the project. He was being very rude for no reason to me. Anyway, so I got burnout, took some time off, and then I did go back to work in New Orleans. And but what I kind of talk about now is that I kind of lost a little motivation, the enthusiasm, that I felt when I first started. And the book, is titled Upstream Dream, about my dreams of working as an engineer and for an oil and gas company. Or really any place, but it turned out to be with offshore rigs. So I did get burned out, went back, and then really fortunately I was still young, and we were offered early retirement packages, which I voluntarily took in 1992, and went to get an MBA at Southern Methodist University. So after my MBA, I was looking around for a job, and this is all in this chapter, and I decided that it might be interesting to work for the American Petroleum Institute, and in the book I call it the American Oil and Gas Institute, I believe, but in Washington, D.C. I thought it would be very exciting. Now, in the book, my parents had passed away by now, and I'm still not married, but that's okay. So I took off to Washington and kind of just got my enthusiasm back. I started out doing audits and managing worldwide audits, and that's one thing I wanted to do, was get into international oil and gas, and I was afforded that opportunity. I also worked on API standards, which are, if you're familiar with in the industry, they're very important to standardize the equipment that is used worldwide. So it was a much more broadening experience. I worked with many more women. Of course, this was later. This was in the 2000s, and just ended up having a marvelous, very happy career in Washington, and in my oil and gas career. Traveled internationally to China, Argentina, Europe a lot, and so anyway, so that is the end of the book. It leaves on a high note, and finally, I want to mention the epilogue, where I do discuss kind of what my perspective over 30 years in oil and gas. And one thing you learn is that you must keep up your dreams and don't get discouraged. And if you do get discouraged and things happen, you must find another way to achieve your dreams. So, and they do come true, and you can lead a very happy and fulfilling life in any career. One thing I did mention is the brilliant people that I met, the wonderful people I met, scientists and engineers. They got patents. They're the best minds in the world. They're equivalent to what we call the space engineers that developed the space program. So, and in the epilogue, I do mention that there is a climate crisis, and energy companies are working on this. And they do have the best minds working on solving the climate crisis. And anyway, so that is the end of the book. And please, if you like this video and the other videos, please like this channel and subscribe. And I'll keep maybe posting some videos just about my thoughts on the oil and gas industry. And I might post some shorts because these are getting kind of long. Anyway, but thank you so much. And my book, again, is Upstream Dream. And that's a quick synopsis and about 5 or 6 videos. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch them. And you can get the book, and you see it's not very big, on Amazon or